These are five things you should know in Bitcoin this week. Bitcoin price is continuing to go in a consolidating trajectory despite recording a new all-time of $123,000. But the price action continues to go in consolidation. What might we expect out of another major development that has made rounds or is making proper wave in the crypto space is the price expectation of Bitcoin as the proper all-time high in this particular cycle. And even many experts are expecting Bitcoin not to go beyond the 150,000 zone. Even those that have been holding it for a very long time are also saying all of this. And if you're looking for the proof, we are going to be showing you everything in this video. Major and expecting news, or let me say action, that I'm actually looking out for this week is the fact that the Fed chairman, that is Jerome Powell, is definitely going to be taking the stage again this week, talking about what he does best in the Federal Open Market Committee this week, amidst the pressure for him to resign or pressure of him being sacked by the US President Donald Trump following the recent escalation that has been seen, personal escalation that has been noticed between both parties. What is the Fed chairman definitely going to say? Is it going to affect the crypto space in a positive way? Is it going to do something that's going to affect us in the positive, or affect the crypto space in the negative way? And the fifth thing to discuss right now is the fact that Bitcoin dominance is actually collapsing, as it has been collapsing since last week. And this is giving validation to the speculation, let me say the rumor, that the alt season is definitely here. But how do we get to connect all of this together? Is this validating the fact that the consolidation might actually lead to a further short in the market? We are going to definitely see a further downturn of the price action of Bitcoin due to the proper current consolidation. If people are feeling like, oh, the hot season is here, definitely Bitcoin dominance has to drop. So at this point, validating each other, or what do you think about all of these things? You can comment your thoughts. Regardless, I'm going to expose you to some more even factors, or how we get to connect all of these five major factors together to see how they can help you to make decisions in this week. All right, so the first thing we're going to be looking at is the matter of the price action of Bitcoin and the consolidation, and looking at how it might actually lead to further downturn in the market. So before I even read one or two articles, we will look at it, and this is a BTC chart on a daily time frame. As you can see, after hitting the all-time high of 123,000, Bitcoin has actually been consolidating around this range. And now this is the funny part there to it is, if you look at it, we are having longer shadows or weeks than smaller bodies. If you look at it, every of these things are just they are all shadows. The real action is between this point to this point, which is 117,000 to 119,000. Every other thing has just been like the shadows. So what do people have to really say about this? So I'm just going to be reading through some few articles that I've actually gathered online over some few period of time, and look at what we can bring out of this. So some people are talking about these things, like the market to actually go between this range due to the CME gap, that is the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, which is the difference between a closing gap and whatever. So said Bitcoin saw classic volatility into the weekly close, with BTC USDT nearing 116,000 before a strong rebound entered. So this is a data from Cointelegraph Market Pro and Trading View. So if you look at it, like I mentioned earlier, this is 117 to the highest of 118. So currently around 119,000, BTC is still a favorite among traders. So BTC closed the CME gap straight away after futures opened. And now let's look at, this is the CME gap for last week. This is the CME gap open for this week. And as you see, it is still within that same range. And now, so Cointelegraph also reported BTC price targets hinge on a resistance trend line, which the price is currently attempting to break through. So it's either break out of that zone or comes under. So for someone which is one of the top crypto traders, that is Crypto Nuevo, warned about another order for bulls on the horizon. So we are heading into a quiet week during this strong uptrend, but there is a warning sign potentially forming on the 1 day time frame that we need to be aware of. We said this on Sunday, that was yesterday, weeks to be upside but price not pressing further. So that's what I also meant by this place, that the weeks are actually going high but we are not having real price around here. So let's look at one of the things. So sorry refer to market exchange, and also some people are also talking about this. If you look at this chart as well, we're looking at something that is showing this particular point. So this is but the crazy part to it is, if this thing actually comes lower than this, that means we'll be having a lot of liquidation. So that is one of the scare people are having right there. So talking about price targets, now let's talk about price target, which is the second thing I'm going to talking about. That is the possible expected price for Bitcoin to be at its highest in this particular bull run. So we are going to be looking at some few notable traders that I actually, regard in high esteem in this particular space, or let me say analysts, what they expect of this market. So we have Pitbull say that 130,000 may be the next stopping off point for BTC USD, with a long-term top not far beyond. That means it's saying that anything beyond 130,000, you should know you should start closing your shop. And I just don't follow what people say. I also have a way of doing my own research, that is looking at few technical indicators that I know to use. I used to know when the market is actually at the top, actual time for me to take profit or not take profit. Talking about things like the M2 index, talking about the market value and the realized value, the inter-exchange flow, and all of that. To understand this thing, really, you might have to just check out this video that I'll be showing around here, where I actually talked about proper indicators you can use to know when to actually sell off your BTC in an all-time high. So said BTC is going through a consolidation phase after a new all-time high. This is actually a good thing, as alt are rallying during this, but I think BTC another leg up will start within 2 to 3 weeks. He told his ex-followers over the weekend, and this is just it. Concerning this, I also believe that after this point, BTC is going to actually come down maybe to this zone, which is around 117, 113, or even 110, because the BTC dominance has to come down for altcoin to start going up. And we are all, I don't know for you, but I as a person, I'm also very enthusiastic about the alt season coming in. And if the alt season has to come in, BTC dominance has to go down. Definitely, the price of BTC really has to come down. So if I was trading at this moment, I will not be expecting a quick top for BTC anytime soon, except in a few weeks time to come. So as Cointelegraph continues to report other cycle tops targets, so some like Axel Kiba's target is around 137,000. Xpondit and Bitcoin is around 145,000. I've forgotten the price range CryptoQuant I mentioned, but the highest I've seen from forecast for this season is 160,000, and the highest I'm expecting is 150,000. So for me, if you're seeing something around 135, 140, just take your profit and go. Start closing your shop. Earlier this month, fellow trader and analyst, which is Rect Capital, suggested that the top could come within just 2 to 3 months, and I'm really going with this, because we're already in July, and next month is August, next month is September and October. For me though, as a person, we will know and following, there are some things that are just like tradition. September is always a bearish market, which is like 2 months from now. And October is always kind of like the leg up to the November pump. December goes up and people close shop. So year 2025, I'm not expecting another bull run in 2026. I'm not expecting it to last to 2026. By July already, we are having 120 something thousand. Possibly we might get to 120 something thousand. Let's just leave it on that. And if you look at the market value to the realized value chart, it will tell you something to let you know that the top is nearby already. If the market doesn't, like, if Bitcoin doesn't correct itself at this moment, this will be the actual top. So, and that is me also validating the fact that previous weeks to come, the price of BTC is going to come down. Because for BTC to come down, the market to the realized value and chart is also going to go down. Then we can have another impulse or push up to hit a proper range. I should be showing you the charts right now, but I'm not going to do that. Just check out the video, you can see it from there, right? So in 2 to 3 months time, September might be bearish. You have another leg up in August. September might be bearish. People will take out profit, and November will do like the honeypot. People will still feel like, oh, it's going to go higher and higher and higher, and that is when people actually start taking profit. So anything from October to the maximum of September, just know that it's time for you to close your shop. So for me though, I'm not expecting it to go beyond October. November is just like the last leg and like the honeypot. So now let's talk about the third thing in this particular video, which is going to be the expected Federal Open Market Committee meeting. So it is going to be, so we know that let me just read what this person said. Another quiet week for US macro data keeps markets focused on the Federal Reserve and Chair chairman, which is Jerome Powell. So he said Jerome Powell under the pressure to cut interest rates amid a barrage of personal criticism from U.S. President Donald Trump will deliver opening remarks at the integrated review of the capital framework for a large banks conference, Washington, on Tuesday. That is tomorrow. So we all know Powell has been under pressure from Trump and it has really been affecting the market, and we know all understand how rate cuts affect the crypto market. So another thing I want to talk about is someone that actually indicated the CPI. And now let's I'm just going to skip all of this and talk about this, that ahead of the July 30 meeting, there's still another meeting. So we will know how to decide whether there'll be a rate cut or not. So that will show little or no belief in the risk asset favor. So I'm just gonna leave this. So let's come to the part of the CPI. I think this is where it is. So rising inflation and strong economic data is clouding the outlook for interest costs from the Federal Reserve even further. Trading firm Mosaic Assets added in the last edition of its regular newsletter. So possibly we might get a rate cut. Let's look at this. It said, okay, with the coming days set to deliver around 15% of. All right. So I think this is not where the news of the inflation is, but we all know that from the last report, the CPI, the Consumer Price Index, actually indicated that there's been a rise in inflation in the US, and the US debt has actually, I think it has grown to around $30 trillion, and that is not something good. That's something that might push it for a rate cut. But let's see what come out of the meeting tomorrow on July 30th. So now let's talk about the hot season. So people are expecting the hot season. Like some people are already saying that the hot season is here already, like it is hot season already. But is it the hot season? Is it not? But for me, I think like we're already stepping into it. I'll just say a few things. So hot cap total, that is in 2 weeks, ready to explode into price discovery. So if you look at the hot market, and this is a what's this kind of chart even called? I've forgotten. So this is like, what's it called? This is the market capitalization of all altcoins, and as you can see, we've had double top here. We have a bottom, and it is correcting. The next thing is for it to go up. So, and for this to go up, BTC also has to come down. This is me making a third validation to my claim that the price of Bitcoin is definitely going to come down in the next few weeks. So we said as Bitcoin seeks to cement bulk of recent gains, markets are already looking elsewhere to copycat their coins, and this is what actually leads to the season. Why Ethereum and XRP lead the pack last week, altcoins market more broadly is now tipped to follow in both CoinScape and much out to the other system. So that's the guy. Okay. So we have something here. Bitcoin remains in the range and consolidation continues, facilitating further money flow into altcoins. And that is just in case you don't understand the dynamics here. When people or investors have taken their profits from Bitcoin, they look for other places they can put their money to see other profits, because you don't want to just look at Bitcoin staying in one place and you're looking at other coins that are still low. You take out your profits, put it there, and when you see all those ones going now, you also want to join the train, and that is what actually always leads to alt season. So after 66% dominance, after hitting 66%, dominance has collapsed over the past few weeks, now targeting 60% mark for a more support retest. So now Bitcoin market dominance rose to 66%, and now it is around 60%. For me, I'm expecting it to still come to around 59 or 58. So now this is something from Petoshi. BTC dominance largest drop in a week in 4 years. That is a real signal. Hot season is here already. I do think many odds will likely cook for the next few weeks, but feels like sellers have run out of momentum. Many of them look better than they have in quite some time. I think you actually use the last week's low as a point we shouldn't lose on most of this. So hot season is here. This is also someone saying this, but for me, in my own honest opinion, I feel and I believe the hot season is here. So now let's look at BTC returns to exchanges. So over a few days, or I think in weeks, we've had proper and more inflow of BTC into exchanges reserve. And what this actually means in actual sense is the fact that investors are putting their money back into reserve. That is to show that they are optimistic and enthusiastic of the crypto, bull run, and that is to also show that it is not going to, this is not the top for you. Of course, if they are now bringing their money back into it, that means they are still expecting a new all-time high. So definitely, if you are part of those that are thinking 126,000 is the all-time high, you are wrong. So as BTC price consolidation continues, analysts are increasingly wary of potential pullback. In recent quick take blog post, on-chain analytics platform CryptoQuant drew attention to two phenomena in particular exchange BTC reserves and inflow into exchange from Bitcoin ways. Actually, in the video I mentioned earlier, these two were actually part of the technical indicators I talked about in that video, and I always use to track the actual time to take profits in a bull cycle. And CryptoQuant is one of the best places I can always recommend for you to get proper on-chain data analysis to make decisions in the crypto market. So centralized exchanges BTC stocks have hit their highest since June 25. This sustained net inflow reflects ongoing profit taking and distribution by investors in a dynamic that often signals weakening buy side pressure and hint a potential corrective phase. So that's what someone else said. During these previous two market ups, inflow exceeded $75 billion, which triggered the beginning of a correction and consolidation phase is summarized. So right now, you can look at the charts, watch the video, you understand what I actually meant by all of this. So guys, these are the major news I can put together, or let me say major insights I can put together to the 5 things that you really should know before or you know about the crypto market for this week. And if you have any thoughts, you can just comment in the comment section. I'll be willing to hear from you to know what you hear and what you think about all of this. But in all honesty, these are the key takeaways. The price of Bitcoin is going to come down in the next 2 or few weeks. It's going to come down a little, and the hot season is here. That is just the major 2 things you need to take away from this video. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and bye.